Right. Right. No, it's working. Right. No, it's working. Right. So just a quick video before I go to sleep. So I'm planning to go to do some milk detecting tomorrow. I've got another place I've been to once, and I think I saw some old tyres there. Now, if I'm correct, there might be some old wheel weights on them, but I can't remember if there was tyres there or not. Actually, there is another place I could go to, but it's more scavenging. A tyre place, actually, see if he's got any, which I've not been to yet. But the thing is, wheel weights now are made out of zinc, I believe, and possibly steel, so it's very hard to actually get any lead wheel weights around here now. I need to go to the other place where I've got those brake liners. He said he'd keep like any wheel weights in future for me, but he said 2 weeks now. It's only been a week, I think. I might even go back to the other place where I've got that 6 kilo of lead for metal detecting. So there's a few places I need to go to, actually, metal detecting. I'm thinking of going to one place tomorrow, which ain't too far away from me. It's only one bus ride, luckily, but it's quite a bit of a walk to find out if I was correct or incorrect about old wheels and tyres being there. If it's just tyres, then it's going to be a wasted journey, but if it's wheels, car wheels, then there might be some there. So I need to take my metal detector, my spade, my pinpointer, and some tools to get them off, possibly. So anyway, my projects. Well, this project here is to cast lead weights. Now, when I actually made this, I think it was that one that actually just broke in pieces, but this side was okay. So what I done, I put the weights in and I just recast the top bit. So this is it here. I've not cast anything on this one yet, but I did cast on the other one and it's completely like screwed up on me. I still need to do some work on it, smoothing this out a little bit more. This is like a 5-weight cast made out of plaster, and it ain't the plaster that I kind of really needed. That's why it crumbled and screwed up on me the first place. As it is, like, a bit fed out at the bottom, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. I think that'll get stopped, because what I've got to do is, I originally had the cast going in on the side here, so it could flow down. But when I actually done the first cast on it, it was complete crap. Only one fishing weight was able to like get formed. All the others was like completely crap. So this time it's going down inside this way. So when I actually cast the metal, when I melt the lead and pour it in, it should actually go all the way down, and it should go through the runners. I need to carve this out a little bit more, but it should go down inside these. I need to carve that one out a little bit more as well, and it should hopefully cast 5 weights, but I don't know yet until I've tried it. But because I thought, well, this plaster was complete crap, and I paid like £6.40 for 25 kilos. Well, actually, it wasn't 25 kilos, it's 20 kilos, I think it was. I didn't want to waste it, so it's actually in a container out and bulky at the moment. It still needs to dry off a bit more. I still should be able to like smooth this out a little bit more with my Dremel once it's completely dried, and then just blow the crap away. The other one because I was looking on so many videos, I saw one guy who'd done a pretty good cast, and I asked him what he was using. He said plaster of Paris. Well, plaster of Paris is bloody expensive, but I did get a 5 kilo bag for £12 from Amazon. It was delivered the same day. Mind you, I didn't. Well, I ordered it like 2 o'clock in the morning, and it came around about 7 o'clock in the afternoon. So this is a plaster of Paris one, similar, but it's only got 4 weights in it. Hasn't turned out too bad. The only thing is this bit broke off here, but again, I'm not too worried about that. The gate is again plaster all over me again. I'm not worried about smoothing all this off yet, but it'll be poured in this way again, just like the other one, and it should come down, feed into that one, and that one, but it's coming down both ways. So, and if that one fills that one, this side should fill this side. But again, I still need to carve a little bit more of the plaster out. I can't actually cast it at the moment, any weights at the moment, because the situation is that this was only made last night. Still, needs possibly about another day or so for it to really harden up. And then I'll give this go. This one actually has turned out better though, to be honest with you, because the weights are more even on this one than it is on that one. And I think the weights on here might be a lot kind of deeper than this one is. Don't worry about that noise, that's just my DC box going off in the background. So hopefully these ones will probably turn out a lot better. I've got 2 sizes, but 3 of them it's the same size, I believe. That one's the bigger one. So that's the biggest one. Then you've got the same. I think they're about the same. I think these 2 might be slightly bigger than that one. So I think I've got 3 different sizes there. So because I don't want to waste that 20 kilo of plaster, this one, I wanted to find other things to use it with. And I also bought a 20 kilo bag of sand, which I didn't know what to do. So today I thought, hey, I was watching a YouTube channel the other day where a guy actually made a little kind of kiln furnace out of a flower pot. Yep, a flower pot. So I thought, well, flower pots can be a bit expensive. Now, I've actually got some out on the balcony, but they've got plants in. I don't really want to take the plants out, so I ain't got nothing else to put them in, and I don't want to, I suppose, kill a living organism, because a plant is an organism, isn't it? I suppose. I didn't want to just tear it out and use one of the ones I've got in, on the balcony. So later on, next week probably, I should have some money, hopefully, if I get paid tomorrow. And I was thinking of go at home base and get a flower pot. And I thought, hang on a minute, if I make a flower pot, well, if I get a flower pot, I should say, there's only one problem. Now, I've made my crucible, kind of, being this. It's an actual drink container, which I cut off the edge, the top part. And then what I've done, I mixed up sand and that brownish plaster to make a kind of a concrete. I don't know if it's going to be, like concrete, but it's got to be really dried out, because it still feels a little bit moist. But I only made that today anyway. So I made a crucible. It ain't too bad inside, it's kind of smoothing out a little bit. I need to get that good clean out later. I need to just like make a little kind of a groove there for the pouring. I need to clean all this up on the outside as well. So I thought, well, this I think is aluminium. Now that furnace gets too hot, this is going to melt. But I'm not worried about that, because if that stands up, if that actually does harden up, and really harden up like concrete should do, then that's going to be okay. I don't think this is steel. I think it is aluminium actually, these. So if it does burn, melt this metal, hopefully this will kind of still stand. Otherwise I'm going to have to find a container which is made out of steel, and then like make another crucible. Now what I did do is that to make that hole in there, I had like a spray can, a spray bottle. So I put that in there. I've already got a video up actually of me doing it. I put a spray bottle lid container in there. I filled this up, put the container in, and then just pushed it down and like let all the excess like kind of like squirt out. And I left it in there for about 3 hours or so, and then I went out there and I just like kept wiggling it around and tapping it, and I was able to get that squirt container out. So now I've got to make the actual furnace. As I say, like I was watching a video the other day and last night. I've been watching it a couple of times actually, and I've only seen like 2 people who's actually made a furnace out of a flower pot. Thank you, Ian. So no, it isn't dead kind of like straight. It's a bit wobbly, this one. You can see it's not dead straight, but it's going to be okay. I think it's because it's just got the once that's taken off, it should be more kind of level. But I saw this video of a guy doing a flower pot furnace, and what he's done is he's just got a furnace, a flower pot. He's cut the hole inside of at the outside of the flower pot, made a hole big enough for a flame gun, blowtorch to go through the hole, and then he's made like one of these as well, something like that anyway. But what he's done is he's drilled a hole in the flower pot, and then he's got a lot of cement, and he's kind of like put all the cement inside the actual flower pot. He smoothed it all out so there's a big enough hole in there for the crucible that he made. And he did the test run, and it kind of worked pretty well. It even melted aluminium. So I'm just hoping that if that is aluminium, it's definitely going to melt that. But if it does and this kind of like falls apart, then I'm just going to find another container, probably steel, which is not going to actually melt and fall apart. So I do have my gas cooker, which I can use to like melt down lead. I've got my blowtorch that I use more than my gas cooker to melt down lead. I've been using the blowtorch and a saucepan and just putting lead in and melting the lead down and making a couple of fishing weights. I had a couple of small, what are they called? Ingots. And I wasn't too happy with them, so I took them out and remelted them and remade them today. And after doing that, I thought, I'm going to make a crucible. So that's my crucible. You can see it's a little bit thicker on this side than this side, but I ain't really worried about that. I just hope that this stands up when I make my furnace. Because, like, it's simple, you don't have, I was looking how much a furnace is, right, on Amazon. The cheapest one I've seen, right, is like £250. £250. No, I don't know what the warranty is. Probably a year warranty. I don't know yet. But fuck me, man. Like, let's just say this container. This is one of my candy floss containers here. Let's pretend this is a flower pot. What I'm going to do is drill a hole there. All right. Fill it up with concrete. I might have to go and buy some concrete actually, to mix with my plaster and my sand, because it's going to make it more of a solid kind of like mixture. And once I've drilled a hole big enough for my flame torch to go in, my blow torch. So once that's all filled with what's the name, and I've got a hollow space in there as well, that will go in like that, like so. And the flame torch will really get high temperature, about 700 to 1000 Fahrenheit. And then all I've got to do is put my metals in. Now the reason why I want to make the furnace, right, is because I don't think my gas stove and my blowtorch will melt aluminium. And I am actually sewing up my aluminium cans, like my soda cans, my cider cans and stuff like that. I've got a small bag with about 20 cans or so in there at the moment, yeah. And I can always walk along the street and pick up bloody hundreds, The other day I saw a great big carrier bag of soda cans outside someone's house. So I can always go knocking on people's doors and say, hey, can I salvage your soda cans, your aluminium cans, and, bring them home? And I can just sit there and melt them down. But I can only probably do it once a week because I don't want the neighbour to start moaning. Although she's okay, I did tell her I was going to melt some stuff down. And I said I'll let her know. And she probably might have to close the window for a while because she has got a youngster upstairs. And I went out there the other day and I started melting it. And I completely forgot about telling her. And she looked out the window. She goes, oh, is that what smells, Steve? I said, yeah, I'm sorry I forgot all about telling you. She goes, oh, that's all right. Don't worry about it. And she shut her window up for about half an hour. So I was only melting a small amount. And when you melt metal, you've either got to put flux, you can use candle, or you can use borax, or there's other kind of stuff you need to actually put into the melted metals to clear some of that, really horrible gunk out of it, and that's the only thing that smells really, and it only smells for about 5 minutes. The rest of the time, it ain't too bad. But I have been wearing masks. I've only got cheap masks, but they're good enough for what I want. I suppose I can always order a better one later when I've got some kind of cash. But yeah, I've been kind of keeping myself busy because I can't really be going out too much at the moment because I just don't have the funds to keep going out metal detecting. I only got the money for fucking batteries when we metal detector actually at the moment. I've got 2 batteries left, and they're those crappy Kodak ones. So until I get some funds, I don't know what I'm going to be doing at the moment. Let's check on something. I'll check on something. It's Friday today now, isn't it? All right, so good. Right, well, I've actually got a little bit of money now, so I can go out and get some fucking batteries and a flower pot and maybe some cheap concrete. I don't want to get a big bag of concrete because it ain't going to be worth my while getting a big bag of concrete. I only need probably 5 kilos, if that. So let me just have a quick look on Homebase. So probably 2 kilos would be enough for me, actually. So I'm only going to be making one. I could probably make 2 little flower pot furnaces. But it depends on the cost of the flower pots. Concrete. I think I spelled that wrong, actually. No. Right, well, the cheapest one Fucking that's a 25 kilo. I don't want 25 kilos. They're only like massive kilos, man. Like you talking about. Multi-purpose concrete, £7.40 for 20 kilos. Concrete mix, £5.10, 25 kilos. Post-mix concrete, £5.60, 20 kilos. I don't need that fucking much. But the other ones, like the one sill, concrete sill, or it's like between £32 and £44. Yeah, £22 and £44. I don't need it. I don't need 20 kilos. And what's this one? High performance concrete, 5 kilos, £5.50. Tarmac blue Mastercare concrete, £5.80, 20 kilos. Well, actually, that one's 25 kilos. Sub base mix, that's ballast, £2.60. And that's no, that's like rocks and stuff in it, ballast. That's like £2.60 for 20 kilos. Wet mix mortar, £10.50 for an 8 kilo. You know, I really got to kind of like check these videos out again, to be honest, because like I don't really want 20. You know, bringing home 20 kilos is fucking backbreaking. I tell you, when I bought the plaster, which was a 25 kilo bag, I had to use my bloody shopping trolley to bring that home. Concrete mix, what's that one? So the concrete mix has actually got stones and stuff like that. I don't want one with stones and stuff like that in it. I need like something which is more like the plaster. You know, the tarmac post mix concrete is only £5.60, but again, it's like 20 kilos. You know. Hello, Alan. We'll have to work something out for the week if you're up to it. I'm going out today, so I can't do today. And a weekend, I might be going over the what's the name common to camp out fishing. Don't know yet. Well, I'm just talking about my little projects I'm doing at the moment for, you know, like my mate, for me weight making. So you might have to watch the beginning on this. And my crucible I've made. My little crucible. Still waiting for it to harden up. Mind you, it's got to like settle and like, you know, be out in the sun for at least 2 or 3 days, I reckon. Then I've got to like get something to like smooth all around it. You know, I should have done it while it was still kind of wet, which I did try doing actually, because this bit here and this bit here wasn't even. But you know, I wanted like a little lip there, which I've now made. But here it's kind of all uneven. But I'm not too worried about that. I'm just more worried that it's going to like hold up. The only thing is when you make a furnace, you need to have something blowing air in, because then it kind of like, it doesn't trap the hot air. It kind of like expands it, you know, kind of thing. And it makes the actual furnace a lot more hotter. So it'll burn different metals at different temperature. Now, I don't want to go out and like buy a fucking like furnace at £250 because I ain't got £250. Not unless someone like to make a donation of £250, then I'm going to get one. It saves me all this bloody trouble then. But the thing being, right, is all what I want to melt, the metals I want to melt, right, is aluminium, maybe tin, and lead. That's all I'm really worried about, really. Hello, Huntress. Thanks for popping away. So yeah, that's all I really want to melt is like aluminium. Mind you, aluminium does give off a bit of a stink when you're actually melting it, because you've got all that paint on there. All those soda cans have got all that paint, and that can be a little bit toxic. I've been watching so many videos like, mass production, of like places in India, billions of tin cans, they're melting down into like fucking great big ingots, that big, 20 kilo, 30 kilo ingots to sell like to big companies that use them. Then I was watching some Indian ones where they was making like saucepans and pans and stuff like that out of aluminium. It was kind of fascinating on how they was doing it. I don't want to be doing nothing like that. I want to be more melting down my lead and possibly aluminium or tin. I wanted that. I really want to try to get something which will melt copper, because lead is getting very, very scarce right now. Yeah. The only people who's got lead is the ones who's got backstock or is getting it, here, there, and everywhere. Big companies, and they melt it down. I was watching one last night. Big American companies, they're getting all the old like car wheel weights and building scrap, and any trees, it's got lead in it. Those getting so much like bought in, real mass production. Those making like hundreds of tons of bloody lead in about a month, kind of thing. And that lead's always been like reused. Now, in some countries, the government is trying to ban lead. Especially in the UK, they're trying to make everything either aluminium, copper, tin. I think they're even doing things with zinc now. I know the car wheel weights are zinc, so I've got some. When I've been around asking for car wheel weights, either they say they ain't got none, which they're bloody lying, and they stop piling it and giving it to Scrappy, or doing it, keeping it for himself or whatever. But I have actually spoken to one guy over near Bidmington. He said he might start collecting them for me. But, these wheel weights are now actually being made out of zinc. And zinc is more toxic, I think, than bloody aluminium and lead. So, and I've not really seen that many people make fishing weights out of zinc. It's more, lead. I have seen like fishing weights made out of copper, and I think someone's actually trying to make them out of steel as well. But even with steel, it's so much you got to put down. I was watching some of those Asian ones last night. There's one in China where he's actually making like saucepans and pots and pans and stuff like that out of aluminium, but lead. I don't know what they're doing with lead. I did see one which was based in some Asian countries, like I think those Afghanistan's or something. Yeah, those like melting down tons of like wasted lead into ingots, and they're just selling it on to like companies that need it, I suppose. Even when you go around, I've been looking around, right, to see if there's any places like being renovated, especially like roofing. But let's say I could go out tomorrow and find someone having their roof redone. I could ask the owner or the roofer if I could have the lead and pay him like a small amount for it. But the roofer might turn around and say, well, no, he keeps it, and he might stockpile it, and get, either keep it for himself for his own use, or sell it to a scrap dealer. But scrap dealers only give it between 50p to £1.25 per kilo. Now, if I could find someone who had a load of scrap and I was going to sell it to a scrap dealer, I'd try to find out how much he sells it to them for. And if he said, well, I only get like £1 per kilo, I'll say, well, I'll give you 125 or 150 a kilo. Not so much, to outbid the scrap dealer and make him lose out because he's got to make money. But, whoever's got lead will probably be happy to, kind of take the higher price, I suppose. Like in America, there's lead everywhere in America. You got the rifle range where they go around shooting. I've seen videos where some guy's got like those great big oil barrels. He's got 3 of them full with bloody lead bullets, kind of thing. And he's even getting a little bit worried now. He goes, I've got a really big stockpile, but I am getting a bit concerned, like, lead is getting a bit short here, especially where he lives. He's got enough to keep him going, but what happens when it does kind of like get scarce? So in America, you've got like shitloads of like lead wheel weights, and you got the lead bullets. And a lot of people go around asking or even collecting up lead bullets to take back home and recast into their own lead bullets, kind of thing. Now, we can't do it here because we're, the gun laws here. There ain't no fucking like target ranges that I know of. And if there were, can you see me going and asking, hey, can I come and take some lead from your rifle range? I think like over here, anyone who's got like rifles or handguns is more copper anyway. Copper casing. Get away. So, lead is getting rather kind of like scarce over here. I was lucky to find that 6 kilo at a common, which I knew there was at least one chunk there sometime last year when I went in. I didn't want it because it was heavy, and I didn't want to be bringing heavy stuff home. And I wasn't even interested in like, making my own kind of like fishing weights at a time. But it's only been like the last few weeks where I thought, if you look at the cost of a fishing weight in the shops nowadays, a 20 gram fishing weight's like £3. £3 for a fucking fishing weight. That's why people are making their own, because like if that, let's say you go out and get like 2 kilos of like lead, all right? Either you pay for it or you get it given to you, yeah? All you need is a mould. You can make your own mould, but I did buy a mould, and I've made 2 of my own moulds anyway. If they're going to work, I don't know yet, because I need, like that one, as I say, that one there did fail me. I think it was that one that broke on me, but I still had that one. And I was actually going to throw that one away. I thought, no, what I'll do is I'll put the leads back in and I'll just recast the top bit, which I did do. So, this has got, as I say, like 5 lead weights I can cast on this one. But when I was doing this one, the first one completely like screwed up on me, so I had to get a different like box. And then I kind of like done that one first, I think it was, as it was drying, because with that one, it takes like hours for it to dry off here. But with plaster of Paris, you got 15 minutes to do all the stirring, pour it out, and then like 20 minutes it's hard. All right. Well, this one is plaster of Paris. So I made the bottom bit. I put the weights in. I let it sit. I gave it about an hour. Came back out. I was able to pull the leads off one by one. Then I put the leads back in. Now, to make the second part, you need to like either put soap, or some people put talcum powder or oil. So what I done on this one, I put cooking oil on that one. But this one I put like hand soap, and it's not like the proper soap that in bars. This is like the creamy kind of like soap that I've got in the bathroom. So I just pasted that over on top, especially on top of the weights. And then I mixed up the second cast. And then, I poured that all in. And it was a bit of a problem taking it out because I didn't do what someone else done. On another video I saw, someone actually put like tin foil on the top of the first cast. I ain't got no tin foil, so I thought, well, soap should do it, kind of thing. So I put the soap on, left the lead weights in there, then I poured the second bit in, and about an hour or so later I went back out, and it looked like it was completely sealed as one piece, but you had to just get a knife and like scrape along until you see the lining. Then you have to get like a knife and just like try to slide the knife in and just like wedge it open. And, luckily enough I did. The only problem I had with this one was that bit broke off there. But I'm not too worried about that because it still, sits there. And, like, although I can put it like that, I'm going to have to use some like crocodile clips, as they call them over here, to kind of wedge it. But I ain't got none which is thick enough to like put there. So what I will do is that I'll scrounge I saw a few bricks outside and I picked them up and I've got them on a balcony. So what I will do is I'll have like a brick one side on the floor and then I'll have the other one. So when I actually cast it, both bricks are on each side and it's not going to open the actual cast itself. So that's what I've been doing, my little projects. What is it? Get away from that, you. But as I say, I want to make a little furnace. Now, if I had the money to buy one, I'd buy one. But £250, I ain't got £250. And that'd save all my problems that way. But I still have to make moulds or buy moulds, readily made, aluminium moulds to actually make the fishing weights. To be honest with you, cost-wise, on the sand and 2 different types of plaster, I've only spent out about £25 max on it, which ain't too bad. Because, the only thing is the plaster of Paris was only 5 kilo. And I've already used about 1 kilo because the first mould, as I say, didn't work out and I had to throw the first one away. It's only until I realised I was going to have to make it thicker so it won't break. But I still probably got 4 kilos of the plaster of Paris. So I can still make more, like moulds out of that. But, if I found bigger fishing weights, I'll probably want to make some casts to make big fishing weights, I've probably got 9 kilos of lead in my cupboard, which I've made into ingots. So people are going to say, well, what the hell is an ingot? Well, when you get a scrap lead, it doesn't matter if it's like a lead pipe or a bit of a roofing tile or whatever, people actually melt them down and they pour the actual melted lead into like a muffin tin. We call it like a fairy cake tin over here. And once it's like poured in, you've got to like heat the tin up as well. And what you do, you pour the lead into the tin, and you might have a tin which has got 6 muffin patterns on it. The one I've got is like 6, but I have got a 12 one, and I've not really used the 12 one actually. I just bought it because it's there. So when you pour it into the actual tin, it makes these ingots. Now this is a 678 gram. It's quite heavy. You wouldn't like one of these being thrown at your head because it would seriously damage your head. But this is 670 gram. If I smelt that down, just that one, I could probably make half a dozen fishing weights out of that, maybe more. Depends on how big the weights are going to be. Now let's say if I want to make like one of the big weights they use like for sea fishing, which is probably like 50 grams, I think, yeah. Even 80 grams, that's quite heavy. I could probably make about 4 or 5 80-gram fishing weights out of just this one ingot, and I've got like 12 ingots out there now, maybe more. I can't remember, I didn't count them, but in total weight I've probably got about 9 kilos of lead ingots out there. And some people might just say, well, you got 9 kilos, that's enough to make, a couple of hundred fishing weights. Yes, I know, but I want to keep trying to get that lead before it gets too, hard, too rare to even find. I know there's fucking tons of lead out there somewhere. All you got to do is find it, and if you have to pay something for it, I'd be willing to pay for it if I got the money. But there's one guy, Bobby, who was good enough to give me some lead the other day, which I went and met up. And he said he was 5 kilo, or he thought he was 5 kilo. When he met up with me, he said, look, I think it's 5 kilo, but I don't know. I didn't have a scale to weigh it. What do you reckon it is? And I said, I don't think it's 5. There's probably about 4, maybe 3 or 4 kilos, And he goes, well, you can have it if you want it. So I took it off him because it was free, When I got home, it was actually 3 kilos, 3.6 kilos it was. So that's like 3.6 kilos, which I got for nothing. Now, the first time I actually did get some weight, lead weight, I went around to a scrap dealer, and he charged me, well, he wanted £5 just for a kilo, Then I bought 1.8 kilo off eBay for £7. Now, I've still got that, apart from I did melt one of the leads down to make some of these ingots out of it. But that's the only 2 I've made, actually paid for. In total, 2.8 kilos, and that's cost me. The guy who ran the scrap dealer shop, although it was at just over a kilo, he wanted £5 for it. But I said I'll give him 4, and he took the £4. So 7, 8, 9, £11 for 2.8 kilos I paid for. That's quite expensive, really. If I was to find people who had lead and they could give me, a kilo for like £1.50, I'd be happy to pay £1.50, or if it was free lead, that's even better. So, like if anyone has any lead that they can give me, I'll be happy, take it off their hands, especially free. So there's two places that said they'll probably keep it for me, like lead weights, car wheel weights, but some that might not even be lead, because like the one who gave me some last week, which I've got to go back down to see if he's got any more yet. So he did say he'd keep it for me. It gave me probably about just over about a dozen, 15 pieces of car wheel weights, yeah. And out of all that, there's only about 5 which was actually lead. The rest was zinc. Now, zinc is more toxic, I think, than lead is. And, zinc actually does take a lot more heat to actually melt down than lead does. Lead is very easy to melt down. It melts down around about 650 Fahrenheit, while zinc is like about 900 to 1,000. Aluminium is like 1,200, I think it was, maybe 900. Depends on, what kind of aluminium it is. If it's tin cans, you can get a blowtorch and like melt a tin can easily, But if it's like aluminium sheets, then it does take longer for it to melt down. Now, I found a couple of little bits of aluminium about that big outside the other day in a skip. I was walking around an industrial and I saw some there. So I just like took them and put them in my bag. It's been dumped anyway. And further on around the corner, coming back out, there's this fucking like skip. Yeah, fucking masses of like, I believe it is aluminium, quite big like piles of aluminium there. Now, I wasn't going to take any, but at least I know that they work with aluminium. So I was thinking of going round there, possibly on Monday, and asking, what they do with their scrap, and if I could probably like either take some if free or if they would sell some, because like these are like bloody long rods, kind of thing, and like I can't be carrying like shitloads of like rods on. Go 2 or 3, every now and then be fine because I can start pouring them and then melt them when I need to melt them. But I don't think I can melt that aluminium on my gas cooker or with my blowtorch. Not until I try the ones even the ones I did get ain't from that bin. But even the ones I have got, I still got to try to find out if that can be melted either with a flame gun or with my gas cooker. Camping gas cooker. Not a gas cooker in the kitchen, because that's not gas, that's electric. No, I could probably just put a saucepan on an electric cooker and like heat it up that way and use a steel pan, but I don't want to be doing that because I don't want that toxicity, all that horrible smell in the kitchen. So I've already done that once and screwed up and bloody neck. It could have killed me, I suppose. Like the amount of bloody smoke in there that day. That smoke lingered in there for like 20 minutes before I could go back in there. Lucky I wore a mask, one of those like little face masks. It ain't like a proper like gas mask type thing. It's just like, one of those things that I've got some in here somewhere, but I ain't got to hunt for them. But that's just like, little gas masks, face masks. You get like 2 for £1 in a pound shop or 10 for like £3 on eBay or something, So, no, but, let's say like a fishing weight, it's like £2 to £3 each in a fishing shop, yeah. If I could make a whole load, which I could probably do with all the lead I've got, 9 kilos, I could probably make about 200 or something out of all that, yeah, maybe a little bit more. I could go around to lakes and say, hey mate, I want to buy a couple of leads off me for a couple of quid each, can't you? Well, not a couple of quid. I'll probably do them for about 120, 130 each, because people will probably snap them up, kind of thing, unless they make them own, because like it's going to save them the cost and the journey to go to a fishing tackle shop and buy them there. Because let's say I need some fishing weights tomorrow, all right? I'd have to get the bus there. That's going to cost me like £2 there, £2 back. Then the cost of the fishing weights are like £2.50, £3 each. And that's only if I bought 2, so that'd be like 4, 6, nearly £10. Now, if someone's got a car, it's still fuel cost, isn't it? Couple of quid in fuel cost. Depends on, where they live, because some people I've spoken to, they've had to travel miles just to go and get some fishing tackle or some bait, I was speaking to a guy on River Wandle who said it was the first time he was fishing there. He said it took him over an hour to travel just to go and get some maggots. So he don't like the ones at Fine Line. But he travelled an hour on public transport to go and get bait and then come all the way back to do the River Wandle. And he goes, man, I'd love to own a fishing tackle shop, mate. You know, but I can't see that ever happening. But yeah, you know, fishing tackle shops are fucking expensive, man. You know, you can probably get, you know, lead weights, which I have been looking on eBay, a lot cheaper on eBay where people made them themselves. You know, you can get like 5 fishing weights for about $4.99, but it depends on the weight, you know, kind of thing. The actual, like, if it's like a 10 gram, 20 gram, 30 gram fishing weight, or whatever it is. Some use ounces instead of grams. I don't even know what my fishing weight. So I think I did start like, I think the smaller ones like 35 grams, you know, kind of thing. What that out into ounces, I don't know what it is in ounces. But no, if I had a stockpile of lead, I'd like make a load of weights, keep a lot for myself, but I'd go around some of the lakes and see people wouldn't want to buy them, you know, kind of thing. I wouldn't be able to take too many because it'd fucking weigh me down. But if I took like about 30 weights with me and say, hey, here, mate, you know, what are you doing leisuring? Oh, do you need any weights? You know, I'll give you a weight, a pound each, you know, kind of thing. You know, it depends on how big the weight is. Because I think some of the fishing guys are using like 1 ounce, 2 ounces, something like that. I think like an ounce fishing weight is like £2.50 in the shop. If they're using 1 ounces, I say, well, look, you know, you're paying £2.50 in the shop. I'll let you have one for half the price, you know, £1.30 or something, you know. You're saving money. And you're probably going to get a few people say, yeah, okay, I'll take a couple off you. And even if they don't buy them, you know, and you can't, you know, you're not making anything out of it, you can always remelt them down. You know, 1.8 kilos of lead, which I bought was $6.99, although it's free postage. So I don't know how much it cost them on postage, but that's including postage. So that's 2 kilos. Now that's kind of weird actually, because I actually sent out something the other day which was 1.4 kilos, and that cost me like £9 in postage, and that's first class recording. If I'd done that second class, that would have been like £6. So if it's just like normal post, it still would have been like £4. So you're only paying like, let's say the postage was £4, you're paying £3 for 1.8 kilos, which ain't bad, I suppose. But the only thing is, like, you know, it is free postage on top of the 1.8. So if you're buying like 1.8 kilos at £3 each, and he's adding the postage on, you know, separately,